Hey guys, we're here with the amazing Ariel Posen at the TC headquarters.
Hey, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's so great to have you here. And we just spent some time putting together this really cool pedal board that Ariel kind of spec'd out to his needs.
Absolutely.
But seeing as we have him here, I figured that for my own sake, and I hope for some of you guys' sake as well, we could get a little insight and maybe some tips on how to start playing slide, because you play amazing slide. I find, at least.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
sure there's other guys out there who feel the same way about it.
It's very kind of you.
And I bought a slide, and that's pretty much as far as I got.
That's the first step, so you're doing the right thing.
But I was, I think a lot of people who start playing slide, that there are some stumbling blocks because it almost feels like playing a different instrument.
Totally.
So maybe you can give a few tips on, the things that you should be aware of, consider, and maybe what you should start practicing.
Absolutely.
And I would probably ask some questions along the way.
Okay. Well, for starters, I find that so many people buy a slide, any slide, the first one they try in a store, and they go, okay. And they don't really think about the fit. And the fit of a slide should be, like this is basically the same size, length. It's like a glove for your finger. Now, it doesn't matter what finger you play on. I mean, all my favorite players play on their ring finger.
Yeah.
A lot of people, Bonnie Raitt, a bunch of other greats played on their middle finger.
Yeah, Derek Trucks.
Derek Trucks is ring.
Ring, yeah.
I just like pinky. I've always played on my pinky, and it lets me use my other fingers.
Yeah.
And that's just what's comfortable for me. So you got to figure out what is cool for you. There's no right or wrong. But you got to get a slide that fits. So many people buy the first one that they see. It's huge on them, and they try playing, and it sounds bad, and they go, I guess I'm just bad at this. They think like immediately it's going to be good. Like you got to actually search and find one that fits properly. That's the most important thing.
So question number one. So the one I have here fits to this part, and I can bend, and then it's all like dingly like this.
Yeah, I personally don't think it should be dangly.
No.
I think it should be not like suffocating your finger, but it should just be snug.
Yeah.
So it should, if anything, it should feel like you're not wearing a slide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you don't really want to change your technique up that much.
No.
You want to just embellish the notes you're already playing.
Yeah.
And just make everything more legato and
slinky
singy and slinky.
Yeah.
So I'd say make sure you get a slide that fits. If you can devote a guitar to slightly heavier strings, that's going to help. And it doesn't have to be crazy heavy. We're in standard tuning. This is just 12. Oh, sorry, this is 12 to 56.
Oh, that's pretty.
But I mean, if you do 11s, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just like slightly heavier. If you try doing 10s, it's science, right? Or it's physics, where the weight of a slide is just going to push down against lighter strings. So heavier strings and making your action a bit higher.
Yeah.
Those are like the three right out the gate. Just do those and just make it easier for yourself.
And
don't make it harder.
And is that to prevent the kind of, that kind of,
Yeah.
you kind of rub against the frets?
It just so it helps you not fret out and buzz. That being said, there's another thing that, first of all, slide, in my opinion, is so much a feel thing. It's not like learning to read music, where you buy a theory book and you go, this is how you learn music, and then it's a skill that you learn how to do, and then you know it.
Yeah.
Slide is so much more of a feel thing, where it's over time, the more you do it, it'll just click.
Yeah.
But it's all about how your hand is moving and all that kind of stuff. So that being said, I feel that so many people put a slide on and they really dig in. Like they feel like you're supposed to press it like your fingers.
Yeah.
But I actually tell everybody that you should be lighter with your left hand or your right hand if you play this way. The slide hand, you want to be really light and let all the attack come from your right hand. And that just helps with actually intonation. It'll give you a lot more sustain.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of it is that it's sustaining on its own and doing its own thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to do that by just sitting on top of the string rather than pushing hard with it.
Yeah.
That's what I find. And then the last, this is what you should probably do before you take it and make it your own, is a common thing I find that people do is they play, they'll go,
yeah,
and then they put the slide on and they go,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they're playing their high E string or whatever tuning you're in, and they're playing it like this. Now, if you were playing without a slide, you would go. You'd play with the tip of your finger, and you need to do that with the slide too, or else you're not. Why would you? It's not like you're gonna play like this.
I get that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I see a lot of people do that. So make sure you're right on the tip.
Yeah.
It's all about making.
So you're basically moving. You're not just doing this. You're actually moving the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could even stand to go a touch lower.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then everything after that is you kind of make it your own. And like muting is a big part,
Yeah, that's another part I had because when that much I got that you basically, if you do this sort of thing, you get all this unwanted noise from back here somehow.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this other misconception that people think that there's muting behind the slide, and they're actually there's zero muting behind the slide. It's all over here.
Yeah.
So I use my fingers primarily when I play, just because I like the sound of it. I like the sound of this, as opposed to.
Yeah.
That's just what I like.
Yeah.
But when I play with my fingers, I can mute a lot easier too.
Yeah.
I have a hard time muting with a pick. So with the fingers, like if I'm playing with my middle finger, which I typically am, I'm kind of sandwiching the two strings in between.
Yeah.
So whatever note I'm playing, I'm kind of holding, and then if I'm moving down, I'm always kind of holding the strings in between.
So it's actually not these, because that's what I...
Yeah, there's no muting there.
Okay, I'll lift my fingers again then.
Yeah, you can lift them. Yeah, do it. Let your fingers, like when I play, my index finger, it just pops out.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
But it does.
But I don't fight it. I just let it do its thing.
So it's basically,
Yeah.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, that's the idea. And then if you're playing double stop, see I'm holding, or three.
But then you're muting the other ones with...
Same way. I'm just holding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, and I can see that. Oh, yeah, I got to get used to that, but
it takes some again. It's such. It's a feel thing,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's something new.
So like the muting, light on this hand, slide that fits, higher action, heavier strings. Those are the immediate. Oh, and like making sure you're playing with the tip of your finger.
Yeah.
Those are the right out the gate important things I suggest you do. Everything else is up for interpretation after that.
One thing I find really hard, apart from just getting the notes right, is, I mean, if I play regularly, the vibrato part of it is fairly easy to me, but that motion is so foreign. It's almost more of like a classical guitar kind of.
Because you're not
motion.
actually.
No, you're not.
It's all horizontal. Yeah. The only thing I can say is that
practice it.
Practice it, because. The way I think about it, this doesn't really help with horizontal movement, but I think of it as if you're a singer.
Yeah.
And the way most singers do their thing is they go, ah. They let the note ring a bit, and then they bring
yeah.
So it's the same thing. And I'm used to, like, I'll do the same.
Yeah.
But with the slide, it's just a different direction now. Instead of vertical, it's horizontal.
And I guess, without the slide, when you're unless you're bending a note before, but if it's like a stationary note that you play, you're only vibratoing up.
Yeah, which is horizontal, vertically.
Yeah. So the pitch only goes sharp; it doesn't go flat, actually.
Right. Yeah.
But you can move on either side.
But you can move on either side. Like I kind of do the vibrato. I start going sharp.
Yeah.
Instead of like, I don't think anyone really goes that way. It just doesn't let you really.
Okay, so we haven't really touched upon standard tuning versus open tuning. But I guess if we, at least for now, stick in standard tuning. Yeah. I mean, I guess to most guitar players out there, they'll be familiar with, like, the
first position pentatonic. Yeah.
Does that apply on slide? Because one of the things I found was that starting with the slide, it felt like you just basically chop off all your fingers apart from one, and then you have to play everything you do like this, and it doesn't feel really all that comfortable playing the same sort of stuff that you'd play on a,
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think of slide, when I'm playing slide, I try to just do all the same stuff. And I do a lot of playing behind the slide, so like, where I play, I use my fingers a lot. But in my experience, the most usable position for slide is fifth position pentatonic.
Okay.
So if that doesn't mean anything to anyone, for an A, you go 1, 2, 3. Fifth position is a G, or the flat 7. So in A, it's and that lets you do these kind of things. And in open tuning, it's actually even it's more close together, and I'll show you that after.
Oh, cool. So I guess in an A minor pentatonic, you have the root as the top note of the scale that way. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, but you can use all this. I mean, once you get deeper into it, slide is really the best when you keep everything on one string as much as you can. So instead of going, it's nicer if you can go. Like the more singy.
Yeah.
Rather than going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that more. It's more. It's like that's what the slide was made for.
Yeah, if you play it like
sounding
it's a
more like
guitar,
a vocalist. Yeah.
If you play it like a regular guitar, you miss out all the all these gliding things that you
totally
can get.
Yeah.
If it's just like
exactly. So I suggest working on if you're used to that pentatonic, just. Keeping his and on every string. It's a good exercise, yeah.
Yeah, and that was actually my next question was, if there are some kind of exercises that you could kind of, for people who want to start out, obviously you can always just, jam some licks on a blues, but, are there things to practice that kind of?
I think exactly what I just said. Take a pentatonic scale, take a major scale and a minor scale, and just practice playing them up and down on each string.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you go A major scale, see how many notes you can get without having to pluck again. Because the less you have to pluck here, the more pretty it sounds.
Yeah.
If you pluck on every note, you may as well play without a slide.
Yeah.
You know, pentatonic or sorry, minor. That was actually just pentatonic again. I'm a little jet lagged today, so I'm a little hazy. But just practicing your scales up and down on one string is going to be it's going to make a lot of difference. And then just working in what you usually do. If you like to go, you know, try to do it, or try to put variations on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you say, you know, that getting back to playing in open tuning?
Yeah.
At least when I hear you play in standard tuning, it seems more, and the guys I hear play slide in standard tuning, JD Simo, for example.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Seems to, playing in standard tuning seems to be almost more of a solo thing. It's more single notey and maybe some double stops. Whereas the guys I hear play in open tuning seems to be able to switch between more of a backing, almost
chordal thing,
and then.
Well, absolutely. A big reason of that is open tuning is tuned like an open major chord, so you can drone a lot and you have a lot of strings ringing out all the time, where you can slide on the bottom and have the other notes ringing. You can actually do a lot of the chordal stuff in standard, which I do. It just involves a lot more playing behind the slide.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, a G chord like this.
Yeah.
You could just... You're kind of sliding on the bottom G.
Yeah.
You can do all that stuff, actually. In standard tuning.
Yeah.
Maybe let me switch and show you.
Yeah, cool.
Pardon the noise. Okay, I think the action's a little low on this one, but, you know. Same with that pentatonic, that fifth position. Actually, it's pretty low on this. No excuses, though. All the same stuff, you could still really... It's just about learning the voicings.
Yeah, so it's basically just starting over and learning the voices.
Yeah. What I'm doing though is whether I'm in standard tuning or open tuning, I'm not really thinking the tuning. I'm just thinking it's a different color. I'm just thinking the same notes, the same melody, the same approach. You know, if I was going... something like that, you know, I would just do the same thing, obviously you can't do it exactly the same, but I would just go. Kind of the same approach. I'm thinking the same notes. Comes out a little differently. Maybe it wasn't the best example, but
all right, I think
things change within tunings. But at the end of the day, I'm just thinking the same sound in my head and the same note choices, and just trying to execute it.
Did you start playing regular guitar and then picking up slide, or was that always a conscious thing too?
Yeah. I started just normally playing guitar, and then I got into slide when I was still pretty young. I liked a lot of Beatles and like George Harrison, and then got into a bunch of other guys that I really enjoyed. And I made the conscious effort of just trying open E, switching to open tuning at some point, and I just would take an open tune guitar to gigs. Like that's all I would take.
Oh, and I would just
throw myself in the fire, take what I knew in standard and started applying everything to it.
Yeah.
A lot of trial by error, trial by fire. Yeah. But it really helped me on the fly kind of start applying what I knew. And I was like, oh, when the pressure's on, it was like, oh, I see, that's how you do it. So that kind of helped. And and then eventually I just started looking at them as two different beasts, but doing the same thing.
Yeah. So it doesn't confuse you now. It's just second nature to.
I'd say, if I had to pick one that I'm more comfortable in, I'm definitely slightly more comfortable in standard tuning still. Yeah. But I can get around in open just as much the same way.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think there's at least something for me to start working on, I think, and hopefully for the guys out there. So thanks so much for...
My pleasure. Hope that helps. I really hope that helps.
Spilling a few of the secrets of the trade, I guess.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye, guys.